Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Marvel's Avengers, but not specifically just the game overall, because Marvel's Avengers, the Avengers game as it's also dubbed, just announced something a bit major in the past few days, haven't they, George? A special announcement,
Yeah, just a little bit.
which is, if some of you don't know, or some of you may know, this is a pretty long announcement, to say the least, because they announced that he was coming in the game last year as of August. They did a whole blog on this like last year August, and it's been about like significant amount of months, to say the least, to now. Well, first the day before they revealed him with Thor, Miss Marvel, and Iron Man. They're all fighting, and then you got to see Spider-Man doing this thing, and that's where you got his first look. Because were you feeling the look at first when when it had that first screenshot? Because to me, certain elements I loved, certain elements I didn't like the whole spider symbol. The spider symbol, they did it too much. I would have minded like a simple spider logo. I don't know why they had to kind of do that weird sort of pattern thing. It just bugged me a bit. We finally got a first look. They finally did the exclusive reveal trailer, and what did you think, man? I just want to get your thoughts out the way first.
I think if this had been out on release or a few months after the release of the movie, I think they could have somewhat recovered with the bad impression that they had. But look, it looks fine, but it's just Spider-Man 2018, but worse in an already bad game.
I feel you. I feel you. To me, this is me who's never touched Avengers in quite a while. I'm gonna be upfront with this. The last DLC, I mean, the last time I ever played the Avengers game, and let me quickly do my Google search on when the Black Panther DLC dropped. 17th of August. It's been 3 months since I've touched Avengers.
3 months since they've done something, and it's too late.
I mean, in my opinion, I'm just gonna say this up front. I want to get all my sort of criticisms and negatives out the way because I do have some praise, but you cannot ignore the elements that stick out like a sore thumb, in my opinion. So let me just say this: the Avengers Road Map. Can I really call it a roadmap? Because the roadmap is just rehashed content. The only two new things, is one, the claw raid, which apparently is kind of taking longer than I expected in terms of how long it takes to complete it, and the Spider-Man release. What is the fault there, in my opinion? Well, the fault is, like I said earlier, the roadmap Avengers currently has right now. I don't even consider it content because it's just rehashed stuff from last year and almost to around this year as well. Which, I mean, no offense, you do not need to make a new roadmap. In my opinion, you should have only just announced new MCU skins for the Hawkeye series since that's kind of close and that's coming up. The Claw Raid and Spider-Man. That's all you had to do, but the fact that you're just rehashing content, which, I mean, no offense, is just a series of challenges in the harm room where you're just fighting more AIM robots, is just, that's a bit of it's a negative I have. And another thing is, it's that, I mean, like, no offense, it took you guys this many months to review Spider-Man. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they have explicitly come out and said that they will do a War Table stream the day before Spider-Man's release, because Spider-Man is slated to come out on the 30th of November. On the 29th of November, they're going to be doing a War Table showcase for Spider-Man, so that's where you can get all his gameplay. In my opinion, they pulled the same thing when they first revealed Black Panther, where they just show cutscenes. What they show us might be gameplay, might be something like cutscene related, but they don't explicitly show us how he moves, how he feels.
Yeah, they don't really, to be honest, show anything, do they?
Let me just say this, and I don't know whether you agree with me on this, George, but seeing the suit in motion, it made me go, okay, I'm feeling this suit. It took me a while to get used to because we only just got that first picture, and to me, I was really iffy because of the fact, I don't know whether you know this, George, but in the blog, they said that their Spider-Man design was going to be inspired by all the classic designs from John Romita Sr. to Steve Ditko, like your early classic Spider-Man design. And I mean, I get the word inspired doesn't mean we're going to do everything 100% and it's not going to be a one-to-one. But you guys come out and say this, but then you go for a completely modern look, which I think is a bit weird because you guys pitch that Spider-Man's gonna look like, from this sort of look, but then you come out doing some sort of like advanced modern look, which I don't mind. Modern Spider-Man looks are pretty cool too, but also at the same time, if you make it too modernish, then it kind of takes away the purpose of Spider-Man's costume being very simple and not overly complex. But seeing this suit in motion, well, not Insomniac, my bad, I did not mean to associate those two studios. But Crystal Dynamics design for Spider-Man, I like it. I really like the fact that the red and blue pops. I really like that. seeing it in motion to me made it a lot more better. The only way you can know how the suit really is gonna work is if you see it in motion, and I liked it. It's really getting me. I really like the suit, but if there's one thing that I don't like, and feel free to agree with you, feel free to hop on this one as well, George. The voice ain't doing it for me, man. The voice is like struggling to find its own sort of stamp, if you get what I mean. The first few seconds of the trailer, this voice actor is trying to do a Yuri Lowenthal impression for like the first 5 seconds, but then he switches and does a Tom Holland impression throughout. Like, it just was a bit weird to me, because it's like, okay, 1 minute you're trying to sound like one Spider-Man from one video game.
Let's see. Dozen of them, one of me.
But then another minute, you're trying to sound like Spider-Man from the MCU.
Someone there? Just another day being Spider-Man.
That is another thing I would say, maybe Avengers that doesn't work to their strengths, is some of the voice actors have. I don't think all the voice actors are terrible, in my opinion. I just think their direction and what they're given to say is a bit weird, and how they have to deliver that is a bit off as well, in my opinion. But to say the least, the Avengers game has a temporary, I'd say not a long-lasting one, but a short-term surge of players back, because of the fact you have a big character like Spider-Man. Of course you're going to bring players back. But another thing I want to say is, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but it just came back to me, he's PlayStation exclusive. You're pretty much blocking the gates for 2/3 of your gaming community, basically, which is PC players and Xbox players. Don't get me wrong, I probably bet this deal wasn't even supposed to happen. For all we know, maybe Square Enix did want to initially do Spider-Man, but they had to probably hash out a deal with Sony. And keep in mind, this was last year as well, and if you know how the Avengers game was doing last year, then you know that they were really struggling, so they kind of needed something that could at least get them off their feet. I have a PlayStation myself, so I don't want to sound like a pro consumer or like a PlayStation show, if you know what I mean, right? Because to me, if an Avengers game, it's supposed to be like a game for everyone, right? But if you're restricting a character, don't you think that's a bit unfair to other players that don't get the chance to play as this character?
I think what's happening is that PlayStation is trying to make Spider-Man PlayStation icon. You know, like, oh, Spider-Man. Oh yeah, I know that. It's PlayStation. That's what they're trying to do. I don't know if it's the best choice. It's obviously not gonna mean, it's gonna mean that Avengers, the game, isn't gonna make as much money because it's not open to Xbox. And what you were saying about the voices earlier as well, they kind of need to pick their own style. You know, you gotta roll with it.
Well, I agree with you on the voice, because, you know, certain VA actors or voice actors, they have to try and do something that has their own stamp and their own sort of print on it,
Yeah.
right? To me, it's just the fact, like, whoever this voice actor is that's doing Spider-Man for the Avengers game, I do not want to go in and just bash this person. I don't want to come in with a hateful sort of attitude. The voice isn't doing it for me yet because of how off it is, you know, because of how it's like changing every so minute. Because like I said earlier, the first few seconds he's trying to sound like Yuri Lowenthal from PS4 Spider-Man, because for a minute I was like, wait, hold up, is this Yuri Lowenthal? Because the voice sounded like Yuri Lowenthal. Then it shifts to this Tom Holland sounding Spider-Man, which I was like, okay, a bit weirded out by that. Since we were talking a lot about costumes, right, let's get into the costumes of it all. Does it change our heads? Does it change our perspectives? And does it make us go, these Spider-Man outfits look pretty cool? So let's start off with the first one, being the one that they obviously showcased being his original, or as this game would dub it, iconic outfit. What do you think of Spider-Man's default / iconic outfit, George?
I don't know. It just looks the same as every other Spider-Man suit we've seen in the last 3 years. I just think they should have done something different. They could have, you know, spiced it up a bit instead of just trying to copy the success of Tom Holland.
Alright, fair point.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool, because to me, I don't mind modern Spider-Man suits, but at the same time, people can do too much to that modern, you know what I mean? They could add a bit too much, like, textures and lines and all that sort of stuff to make it too techy, instead of something like, you know, down-to-earth, bare bones basics, you know? But let's go to the second image, which is the classic suit. Does this one turn you around a bit? Do you like this one more? You know how it's going for the more traditional route?
No, it's worse.
So you think it's worse? I think it's kind of better than the first one, in my opinion, because it's more traditional, you know, simple.
I like the traditional Spider-Man. It's just some reason this is just off for me. Just the way it's cut. Yeah, it's not for me. Sorry, really not for me.
George, Spider-Man isn't doing you justice, man.
Yeah, no, he's really not. I'm sorry.
What's going on? He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, George. He's supposed to be everyone's favorite. Is he not doing favors for you?
I do like some of the other skins, but like the new homemade one.
Yeah, the civilian one, right? Is it the civilian one?
I like that one because that's them doing their own thing. That's never been done before. Like, that's cool. It's a new take. And then there's the red armor one. Like, That's just a skin.
That's the Ends of the Earth one, right? Like from Spider-Man PS4?
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say yeah. That is literally just the one from Spider-Man PS4. I'm sorry, and it's the same with the grey one, and the same with Spider-Man Noir. There is not the one suit I like is the civilian one. I'm sorry.
I like this civilian outfit more than the Peter's civilian outfit because it was just like his college shirt and then his jeans, and then the other one was just Peter in his underwear. They stuck with the traditional Spider-Man colors because he's wearing that red sweatshirt and then after that his blue jeans, which I was like, okay, he's still kind of keeping that Spider-Man colors going.
Yeah, it kind of blends nicely.
I think they're dubbing this suit as the Bugle Boy, and I kind of like that. It's a funny joke because of the fact you can also see him with his camera at the back too, and how he has the web shooters. The other two ones though, like the Mark, like the Ends of the Earth Spider-Man suit, I don't mind what they went for. It's just to me, I feel like the mask area especially is a bit too overly designed.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the lines and all that, a bit too much. But the black and red is alright. It's okay. The Mark 1 Spider-Man suit, the armored one, it's never been a favorite of mine, just because the color is a bit weird, like the color choice, if you get what I mean. Like it's like a weird silver and blue mix for the armored parts, which I never really favored to. And I know I could be saying something controversial here as well, because you only have one favorite. You only had that one favorite. I really dig the Spider-Man Noir suit. I mean, I think they kind of did a surprisingly good job with it. I didn't even know this was going to be one of the suits they were going to showcase, and I thought, wow, for a Spider-Man Noir suit, you guys kind of made it your own, and I like it.
Yeah, that now I've had another look at it. I will say that it is slightly different to the one in Spider-Man PS4. I do like they have made some subtle changes. The actual like headpiece that he's wearing, it's more veiny. I actually do quite like that.
So overall, these Spider-Man costumes, it's really the hard sell.
It's very much a hard sell for me.
All right. I mean, personally, my top suits, or at least the ones that I really love, are the Noir suit, the Bugle Boy / civilian suit, and the classic Spider-Man suit. And in my honest opinion, they should have gone for the classic suit instead of that whole techie suit, or like the one at least they're promoting Spider-Man wearing in this Avengers game.
My favorite Spider-Man suit is the Last Stand suit from Spider-Man PS4, which beats all of these by a landslide. I'm sorry.
If the Avengers game does that, oh, I want to get your reaction, dude.
Oh, that would like win me all the way back, but unfortunately, that's never gonna happen. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. No, the thing is, I like your point of view because I am still a bit of an optimist, even though I've noticed Avengers shortcomings at least the past few months. At least from what I've played, I'm not trying to make George the black sheep, but I'm glad that George, you're actually coming in with a more cautious, optimistic point of view. Because to me, I'm someone who really believes the Avengers game can do good. They could succeed. They can have a comeback. But with what's happened last year and whether they're willing to fix those errors or not is still debatable, and that can also hinder the game's success. With Spider-Man, not only are you kind of hindering your player base, but you're only kind of gonna get a certain amount of players back, at least during the period that Spider-Man's in. I would say a solid 2 weeks at best, or maybe since No Way Home's coming up, they can still get some PlayStation players there as well. Another thing I'm just want to say up front, you guys could have released this a week before No Way Home, because you guys would have gotten some synergy. Like, why do you guys want to release this like 3 or 4 weeks before No Way Home? You know, you're kind of just losing synergy at that point. Marvel's Avengers legit lost a whole year's worth of synergy, in my opinion. They could have released Falcon and Winter Soldier during the Falcon and Winter Soldier period, but nope. Could have released Scarlet Witch and Vision as 2 new characters. Missed that period completely. And they could have done Loki as a new villain sector, but they completely missed that. How the Avengers game is gonna get itself back on its own 2 feet remains to be seen. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for supporting us once again on the content we do. We hope to cover more news. I would like to do more solo videos. I hope you all enjoyed the Uncharted video that as my first solo video to kick off that solo video thing. And take care. Love you all.